to come, although maybe after this speech you may second guess your request. I want to thank everyone for inviting me to come and speak. I was realizing as I was getting ready to walk up here that I think I'm more nervous for this talk than I was at the Olympics. And it is just really an honor to be a part of this community and look back and realize that, and now to also realize that it's been 25 years since I walked down these aisles, so I'm feeling much older these days. I've had a little interaction with the class of 2016 and some of the staff here, and just to tell a quick joke, I would say it happened this year around Christmas time. I was visiting Principal Yates in the school, and they were teaching about speakeasies and stuff in the roaring 20s, and then the cops showed up and arrested Lee Robinson as part of the training exercise, and I was just wondering why it took so long for somebody to arrest him and take him away. I've only known him since I was about 16 years old, so anyway, like I said, it's been about 25 years since I spoke, or since I came here and completed this journey. So this is an important milestone in your lives. Like you, I endured many of the same challenges and blessings of growing up in Buena Vista. When I was here, I remember all the kids saying, well, there's nothing to do in Buena Vista, right? Who still says that? There's a lot more to do now than there was back then, okay? It's interesting, though, as I look back and realize that years later, I would gladly trade the hustle and bustle of the city for small town living. So it's a fantastic community. I also want to be clear that I have a confession to make before we get into this too far. When preparing for this talk, I had to ask myself, did I remember the commencement speaker when I graduated? The answer is a resounding no. Okay? So with any luck, that'll be the case that'll be the case with you guys. I'm 6'7", I wear a size 13, and I've been accused of often putting my foot in my mouth. So, and it's a big foot. So hopefully you won't hold it against me. So at this point, at this important juncture in your lives, I want to share a couple of stories from my life, and hopefully those will translate, and you guys can take away something as we finish this momentous occasion. The first thing I want to share with you, and has been mentioned already, is for you to be grateful to those that have invested in you. Great achievements in life come with great supporting casts. Most of you know of me, as I've mentioned, is the kid from BV who went to the Olympics. At the age of 31, some 13 years after graduating from Buena Vista High School, in this very gym, I walked into the stadium on the biggest stage of my life, next to this one at this point, in Athens, Greece, to represent my country and my community. I nearly cried as I walked onto that stage. It was an incredible journey. As I look back, I found that I was incredibly grateful for the people that molded and supported me through those years. Some of those people, you know, are in this community. Jeff Keidel, Kirk Scheidt, Bob Markin, to name a few. They were my teachers. For you at this point in your life's journey, it's been your parents, your family members, your teachers, coaches, administrators, youth group leaders, pastors, friends, and many more. These are the people that have helped shape and mold you and guided you thus far. They are the ones that have encouraged you when you were down, took time to teach you something even when you didn't want to learn it, held you accountable when you needed to be held accountable. That takes strength, endurance, character, and love. And so I want to personally thank this community for the sacrifices and investments they've made in the class of 2016. You see, gratitude is something that I find is fading these days. I pray that none of you will forget where you came from and the people that have cared for you up to this point in your life. So class of 2016, when you are done with this ceremony, make sure you go find those people and tell them how special they are. They deserve it. Next, I want to talk about big things in your life. In order to accomplish big things, you must learn to maximize your strengths. It's clear from what I've heard so far, we've got an army of people with strengths in this class. For me, it was clear at a very early age that I was a goofy, skinny, energetic, and awkward kid. Okay? There are many in the crowd that if you ask them, they'll confirm that. Okay? You may never guess also that I was one of the shorter kids in my 8th grade class. I would say that for the majority of my high school basketball career, my team could not tell if I was an asset or a liability whenever I got the ball. Sure, I was tall and I could jump, and that was near the extent of my early athletic abilities. Even in track, I ran very little. I did the high jump, the long jump, and the triple jump, and occasionally they would make me run the 4x4 because I was the fastest slow guy they could find. As you can see by the example I've mentioned, it began to become clear that jumping was my thing. Once I figured that out, I worked hard to maximize that by focusing on my strengths, and it helped build momentum to open doors in my life further down the road. The point here is that in order to do big things, you're far better off focusing on what you're naturally gifted at and the things that you love rather than trying to be great at something you're not. An interesting point that I hear too often is find your passion. Do your passion. It's been my experience more times than not that one's passion coincides with their gifts. It's funny how that works out. So to sum it up, you're an amazing stepping off point, a place where you are now the director of your destiny, so to speak. Please do yourself and others a favor. In the next 3 to 4 years, work on finding and maximizing those strengths. The next thing I want to share with you is I want to share with you some thoughts about dreams. If you want to achieve your dreams, dream bigger than you think is possible. In the spring of 1991, my senior year of high school, I dreamed of breaking the state record in the high jump and maybe go on to the Olympics one day. Yes, I had doubts, that voice in my head that said, "You're just a kid from the small mountain town of Buena Vista." Or Buena Vista, sorry, I've been away too long. But in order to chase the dreams, I had to put those doubts behind me, just as you will in order to begin the journey you're on. The first big step, was to visualize what I wanted. So I put a high jump bar in my room and placed it at the state record of 7.2 and made another mark at the national record of 7.6. That same habit of visualizing my dreams followed me throughout the remainder of my athletic career. At nearly every practice and venue around the world, I went and set the bar higher than I thought possible for me to jump. I wanted to train myself to begin to see and believe that things were possible in the future that were beyond my grasp at the moment. By having that goal, that objective in front of me, to look at it, to stare it down, and to remind me of what I was going after, gave me inspiration. Class of 2016, I would encourage you to begin and implement similar practices. As you begin to pursue your dreams, put these things in motion. Set your sights on a goal that is bigger than you think is possible, and then work like crazy to make that dream come true. Maybe you'll be the first doctor in your family, the next Elon Musk of Tesla, the next Steve Jobs of Apple, or Mark Zuckerberg. You'll never know if you don't start dreaming big, then start taking the steps to put that dream into action. The next thing I want to talk to you about is success. If you want to be successful, truly successful, define success by what you're capable of, what your potential is, and not what the competition is. At this point in your life, you are beginning to define what success looks like. No doubt that you have spent at least some time thinking about it. Probably not that much, though. There's a whole lot going on in the world. I bring this up to you because I think success is a very misunderstood concept by many. Through the years, I've seen athlete and business professional alike miss what success as an individual is about. Success is about doing what you're capable of, not only what it takes to win. Think about that for a minute. If you only do what it takes to win, then someone else is in control of your destiny. If you want to do big things, you've got to go beyond what others may do. As an athlete, we always talk about winning the game. But I ask you, how sour is winning if you fail to give it your best? To fail to live up to your potential? Throughout my career, I've seen countless talents fail to grasp their dreams, fail to cast their dreams, and harness their talents and use them to the best of their abilities. What I have also seen is individuals that are laser focused on their goals and dream to achieve amazing things by maximizing every ounce of talent that they have. That takes work. It takes dedication, drive, sacrifice, and much more. If that sounds like a lot of work, it is. However, I can tell you that when you reach that place in your life where you have spent the time and the effort, made the sacrifice, and maximized your talent, it is worth it. And don't let anyone tell you differently along the way. So to wrap up, I want to reiterate what I've shared with you. As you start this journey, be grateful and thankful to the team that has been here to help and mold you and shape you this far in your life. Graduation is a completion of one journey and the beginning of another. Always remember who's walked with you this far. Secondly, if you want to do great things in life, focus on finding and maximizing your strengths. I can promise you that you won't be good at everything, but you can be great at some things. Work hard to do that. If you want to achieve your dreams, dream bigger than you think is possible. All too often, people dream too small and don't believe they can do great things for a myriad of reasons. Don't listen to that doubting voice. Have the courage to stare the challenge in the face and dream in the face and chase it down. It won't be easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. Lastly, define success on what you're capable of, not just what it takes to win. Don't get me wrong, winning and achievement are important, but winning with an underachieving performance is never satisfying. Set high standards for yourself and for the others around you. Learn to say no to the easy things and yes to the hard things. That will make a difference. So class of 2016, as you get ready to take off on this journey, I commend you for a job well done. You came, you saw, you conquered.